11 signs she never really loved you. Now your heart is broken, and for some reason you can't help but question every single thing that's happened in your relationship and led you to this point. She swears she loved you, but it's your fault the relationship ended. Is it really? Welcome back. My name is Jessica. This is my YouTube channel. Remember, today's video is sponsored by Passion Air. It is your official domestic airline in Ghana that will carry you from one exciting city to the next. If ever you make your way to the motherland, make sure that you fly with Passion Air and you will have no regrets whatsoever. Let's jump into our topic or our conversation for today. So, signs that she never really loved you. Number one, she never acknowledged any of your efforts. You've done everything you could to salvage your relationship. You've apologized for any wrongdoings. You've made yourself available to her at every hour of the day, and you've even purchased gifts for her every now and again. You've tried to be a good man to her, but nothing changed her mind. She didn't appreciate anything you did for her, not even your efforts to keep the relationship alive. If you think about it, things were one-sided between you two. You were the one who did everything, while she did barely anything, but instead criticized you. Now, unfortunately, this is a sign that she has never really loved you. Number two, she has never considered your needs. Your needs weren't important to her. When you told her about something you wanted, she didn't give it much thought. On the contrary, she always seemed to find a way to lecture you about how selfish you are, how uncaring you are, how it's all about you. She didn't care about your feelings, let alone the things you needed in order to feel happy in the relationship you found yourself in. The main idea is that it doesn't matter if you're jealous or not, if you have trust issues or not, if your values are different or not. If a woman truly loves you, she'll do anything she can to meet your needs. She will at least make an extra effort to meet you halfway. So I kind of hate to break it to you, but if she only thought about herself, there's no way she's ever loved you. Number three, she has never tried to resolve any disagreements, or she never tried to resolve any disagreements before they became serious. Now, this is a huge red flag. When relationships matter to people, they put in the time. They put in the work that it takes to make things happen. Personally, I think that if she has never, ever try to resolve any kind of disagreements that arose in your relationship before they became a major problem, this is one of the most common signs that she never cared enough and probably never loved you. If there was ever an issue between the two of you and she never tried to resolve it to avoid more problems, she didn't care about your feelings, she didn't care whether you were hurt or not. I mean, all because she was probably too concerned about herself and her own needs. Now, this woman cannot convince me that the relationship meant more to her than she probably is letting on. And I wouldn't trust her or believe anything she ever said. Number four, she never talked about your future together. Now, women are usually the first to initiate the future conversation. You know what I mean? This is simply because, well, women want to feel they are not being used early on in relationships. Now, if a man keeps too long in establishing a relationship, a serious woman won't wait that long to ask you what's going on. So if for some strange reason your ex never talked about the future or made future plans with you, it's most likely that she never saw you guys together in this so-called future. She didn't bring up the topic or discuss any plans for your future. When you try to talk about your future together, she would probably find a reason to change the subject or just avoid that future conversation at all costs. It's not typical of a woman who loves you. And why will she do that? It could be because she never took you seriously. It's possible she never cared about your relationship or your future together. She never saw you in the future. Not wanting to talk about the future, plain and simple, points to a lack of commitment in a relationship. She wasn't ready to build that future with you or make plans for the months ahead, but she probably was trying to make you believe that she was interested in doing so for as long as it served her needs. Number five, she's never appreciated you for who you are. Now, feeling appreciated in any relationship can be whether it's an amorous one or otherwise, can really be an important cornerstone. I think what we all need as people is acceptance and love for who we are, what we stand for, what we bring to the table. But if your ex-partner your ex-partner never seemed to care about your character, your personality, the contributions that you made, then it's another sign that she never loved you. She didn't seem to understand your skills and talents. She didn't even, not once, encourage you to use them. She never tried to even suggest ways you could use your skills, if ever she even had some kind of idea she thought would be good for you. Or she never even looked out for your best interest when you didn't even ask her to. Sometimes these things, when a woman loves you, comes naturally. If your woman never did any of that, I'm sorry to say, she never really loved you. And it's probably good that your relationship is ending or has ended. When a woman appreciates you, she accepts and loves your differences. She doesn't make you feel inadequate. She doesn't entertain negative thoughts or opinions from others about you. She doesn't make fun of your flaws or limit or limit the expression of your uniqueness. I mean, I'm just saying. Number 6, she wasn't jealous at all. Now, a healthy amount of jealousy is actually good for every relationship, and it's normal. It serves as a reminder of how much we really value our partners. Now, jealousy is arguably even a sign of love. If your ex didn't blink when you were talking to other women, or other women were trying to take your attention, then there was no love in her heart for you. The fact that she was so comfortable with other women around you, even when she was with you, is a clear sign that her feelings for you were truly not that deep. Or maybe she was just being overconfident. And in that case, maybe you should then disregard this point entirely. Jealousy is in every relationship. Number 7, she was never there for you in your bad moments. Now, another aspect to consider when trying to determine whether she loved you or not is if she was there for you when you were going through a difficult time. If she wasn't, then it's definitely a clear sign she didn't care about your feelings. In other words, if she wasn't there for you when you needed her, her actions pointed to self-centeredness, selfishness, to mention a few, which have absolutely nothing to do with love. A true sign of love isn't when someone stays good to you or sticks with you when everything is going well. The true test of love is if they stuck by you when you were down. You know, if they stuck by you when you became weak and they became your strength. That's what true love is really about. Not only when there's sunshine, but in the rain. They're there for you. Number 8, she was more interested in being with other people than you. Now, if she didn't want to spend time with you, but she was always ready to meet up with her friends, then it's possible that she had little to no interest in being with you. For her, your relationship was most likely nothing more than a temporary fix. You see, some women enter into relationships as a last resort to helping or to receiving the help that they need. There are women who will just agree to marry you only because, for instance, they want children or they feel like their biological clock is ticking. These women exist, and as soon as they get what they want from you, you're pretty much shifted to the back burner. They'll suddenly find time for everything else but you. I hate to break it to you, but perhaps she never really loved you, and that's the reality you're going to have to face. Number 9, she hasn't texted you since you broke up. Now, when people who tried to truly make things work in their relationship break up, one of them will always reach out at some point. They'll reach out to tell you how much you've hurt them, how much you've betrayed them, etc. Now, if she hasn't texted you since breaking up with you, it's more likely she didn't care much for what you guys had. There are no timelines for texting. Don't get me wrong. I mean, in some cases, it may take days, weeks later, even months later. But either way, that text message, that contact will happen. If, however, after you broke up, your ex has suddenly just dropped off the surface of the earth like you never existed, I mean, she's ghosted you totally, then you never meant that much to them. And the earlier you realize that, the better for you. It is what it is. You've been used. Number 10, she was more into the material aspect of your relationship. Now, if she was more interested in the material aspect of your relationship than the emotional, loving part, then there's a likelihood that there wasn't love involved. She stayed with you for as long as basically you were able to buy her gifts, meet her needs. She stayed with you because you could rent her a place, buy her a car, give her everything that she wanted. And that was your love language, and she took advantage of you. And when it got to a point where basically you could no longer fund the lifestyle or refuse to continue in that manner, she moved on. Do I have to say the words? She never really loved you. And finally, you never truly felt loved by her. Now, feeling loved is an important part of being in a relationship. If you don't feel loved, there's no point of being together. If she cared about your feelings and cared about your well-being, then she would do everything she could to make sure that you felt her love. She would go above and beyond. She would go the extra mile to make you happy. The fact that you never truly felt loved points to a lack of love in that relationship. She truly never loved you. Tough to hear, but sometimes the truth hurts. It is what it is. I mean, I hope this video gave you insights and gave you value. If you like this video, don't forget to smash the like button. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel already. And remember to share this video with your friends as well, as it helps grow my channel. My name is Jessica. Don't forget, you can also talk to me if you have peculiar relationship challenges that come your way every single time that you want an opinion on. You can always join my Patreon community. Go to patreon.com/JessicaOS, and I'll be more than happy to jump on a video call with you. Well, you take care. Until next time.